plan for like I wanna save money and do this and then that because I want to be free in the future. But it's like now is when you're young, when you're more energetic, when you can do a lot, you know. And I would say be happy now. Don't like you can't just say like you know.
The only caveat I would say to that though, and this is kind of like the reason why I dedicated so much time to work. Not so much corporate, but just trying to get out of that situation and build something on the side for myself, is the fact that it is the easiest time to start now, which is like I'm in my 20s, right? I have a lot of energy. The motivation to get out of that rat race of the corporate life is I know that it's only going to get harder. Yeah. And it's like, it's not so much now or never. It's just now or it's going to be 10 times harder to do whatever you want to do.
And what I mean by this too is like, I don't mean be happy as in like, don't do anything. Yeah. That doesn't make you happy. Yeah. Right. We all know that. You still have to, you know, make happy is like, do something about it, you know, how to stay healthy, how to make money in ways where, you know, we're so lucky we have the internet, man. Yeah, it's crazy. We're so lucky, like
it's a miracle.
It's actually a miracle.
Seriously.
It's crazy.
So part of the, you know, reason I do this stuff is like I'm pretty socially anxious, and having like a, you know, just doing it in the way that I'm willing to do it. Yeah. You know, like having kind of a sketchy setup, like I'm recording partially on my phone. Like this camera is super janky. I generally think that the thing that holds me back is not like my ideas or even my own competence. It's like my own willingness to like put myself in front of a camera.
Yeah. Is this running?
Yeah, it's running.
Are you serious?
I was ready for it. I was like, let's go.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, so the way I usually start these, the point of this is not to talk about how to become a better artist or better rock climber or get a job or any of that stuff. It's more about the why of doing it, you know?
Okay.
Like, how do you focus yourself on doing the things you truly want to be doing and, like, not be afraid of, like, sacrificing, you know, your time or money or, like, risking social disaster or something? And then, like, you guys have dedicated a huge portion of your lives to, you know, the craft of rock climbing.
Yeah.
You know, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, we spent, you know, we spent a lot of time climbing for sure.
Yeah.
And we're okay with just being us. Yeah. As long as we get to do what we enjoy. Right. So, and if we make friends, it's usually they're as passionate in climbing as we are. Yeah. So then we'll hang out with them. But we don't really go out of our way, go like partying or anything like that, or do anything like. Right. Sometimes we're like, man, like.
Well, so I have a hunch. I actually think that no one enjoys partying. You know.
Okay.
Like, I think people do, but,
interesting.
But like, I think people generally just enjoy hanging out with, like, they enjoy like doing the things they really want to be doing, and like partying is just a way of like hanging out with their friends. It's like an excuse to hang out with their friends. But like something as painful as like rock climbing, a lot of the time it really sucks. You know? Like your hands are bleeding and stuff. But it's like that could be one of the most enjoyable parts of your life. Whereas like, you know, something like partying and drinking can be like, even though it releases more dopamine, it's not as fun. It's not as enjoyable.
I actually think it's also not as rewarding. But I get what you're saying. I actually do think there are people who enjoy partying, but I get what you're trying to say. It's like I think it's more of like an escape to something else. Yeah. It's not necessarily something that people are like invested in, if that makes sense. It's not like they're competing or bettering themselves, but it is something that takes them away because it means it's usually the weekend and they get to see their friends and they don't have to wake up the next day. So.
You know, that's what's great with us. We don't look forward to the weekend. We love that. Like sometimes we're like, what's today? What's tomorrow? Yeah. You know? And it's just
a common question in our house.
Every day is as good as the next, you know?
Yeah. Well, I meet a lot of people who work for big companies. They have like a dream job. They work for a big video game company or big movie studios or something, and they live for the weekend, you know? Damn. It's like, you know, you would think that getting to work in these big high pressure environments where you're doing what you love, it's like the best case scenario, but often it's like, you know, having the chance to just hang out with your loved ones and do the things you care about is way more valuable than getting the likes or working on a big project or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely, I think it's more rewarding for sure. Like I said, going back to that, I think we're driven towards those things more so innately, right? And again, I think the partying just gives us a way to hang out with our friends, but the true goal is to be with our friends, not so much the partying itself. So,
but we don't even hang out.
friends.
To be honest,
like 2 friends.
Dude, seriously, like we spend so much time making content, but that's because we're passionate about it.
Right.
And you're right. We're not in it for like the views and all that stuff. Like, we just told you we started a podcast, right?
Yeah.
But we're not like, like it's just something that we both want to do together.
Yeah. Right.
You know, because we're doing content separate.
Yeah.
So now we're like, it'll be awesome if we make content together because that's our passion.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, a question that I ask everybody is: would you be doing the same exact thing you're doing right now if you had $1 billion? You know?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which is like
that's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Well, it's like what things do you stop doing? Like, do you quit your job immediately? Who do you stop talking to? Who do you keep hanging out with? And it's like you guys, no matter what, even if I give you $1 billion, I suspect you would still be making YouTube content.
Yeah.
YouTube.
We would buy a wall immediately.
Yeah. We would buy
That's about it.
You'd buy a gym.
Yeah. But you know what's funny? Even if we would have, it's true because there was a point where I was making so much money, but I didn't have a passion.
Yeah.
I was making so much money, but at the same time, I would spend it because I'm like, I need to like.
You need some positive emotion. Right?
Yeah. So I would catch myself just going out and like spending money, but it's like I still feel like, okay, what was that all about?
Yeah.
But now, I don't spend that much money. And it's not like I'm making a lot of money either, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm happier than ever.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so crazy.
We actually talk about this.
We talk about this a lot,
We both came from like a corporate background. Like I had like a like fancy office job and then I was like, this is terrible. I was like I don't know, like chugging Red Bull every day to try to get through the day.
Right.
And I had all the money and I just didn't care. And then now, kind of like this is our home, you know?
Yeah.
It's insane. We're so blessed in so many other ways that I don't think could be replaced by money.
Well, and the beauty of it is that it's essentially free, you know?
Yeah.
It's a pair of shoes and then the gas to get here and I guess food, but then like
and chalk.
Well, yeah. Well, but it's like, relative to the corporate lifestyle of, I have friends in New York City who pay like $4,000 a month for some crazy small apartment. And it's like, that's what they're at a desk, they're making tons of money, but it's like, they're again living for the weekend.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I remember my goals were like in the career, I want to be here, and I would work really hard to get there, really hard. And then eventually, when I got there, I was like, I'm always trying to go up, but I'm not as happier than before. And then my thing is, my problem is still the fact that I look forward to the weekend. Yeah. Right. Why do I have to look forward to the weekend? And why do I feel like, it's Monday? Yeah. Or like I'm tired of that. Yeah. Like that's not, I don't want to live life like that. Well, regardless if I make more money.
Absolutely.
Knowing that I have to spend, 40 to 80 hours, whatever it is, a week. Yeah. Doing something that I'm not, it's not mine.
Well, and the other flip side of that is like I couldn't pay you guys $1 billion to like the next 20 years of your life. You're in that corporate job.
Oh my god!
No. Like in the same, it's like it's not worth it for $1 billion.
It's not worth it.
No, it's not. No,
it's not.
Easily, no.
Yeah. No, because it's real. The fact that it's like you can't like
get back.
You can't get back time. That's why some people make sacrifices their time with their loved ones because they want to, make more money or do this, For me, is like, it's that balance too with, making money and spending time with my loved ones. Like, we just came from LA, but we went there strictly to spend time with family. Yeah. Right. And then if we're spending time with family, we're trying to make some content too, Yeah. Right. But that's like, we want to do more of what we love. Yeah. Right. That's our goal. Yeah.
Do you actually know if it's like how he started?
I know a little bit. Yeah. I watched that YouTube video that you guys put together.
It's a really cool story.
Thank you. Which one?
The one with your mom.
Oh yeah, man.
I think that's incredibly inspirational.
Thank you. Yeah. And that was real.
Yeah.
And all of this, to be honest, I didn't plan it. Yeah. Like I didn't know. It's funny because it took me a hardship in my life to realize what's important in life, which is spending time with my loved ones, spending time with, what I love. Yeah. It's not money. Yeah. Because the more money I get, it's the same thing. It's the same. I'm just gonna buy. If I have to buy a car, I'll just buy a more expensive car or more. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's essentially the same.
Yeah,
it's effectively and practically the same.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. So it's crazy.
Well, I mean, the goal of making that much money in the beginning for me, at least, was freedom, right? Yeah. But it just wasn't what was happening. Right. The reality is, the more that you invest into a corporate life, the less freedom you have.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is like be happy then or be happy now.
Right.
You know?
That's
like
true.
I'm going to work for 10 years really hard in my 20s and 30s in order to earn the right to have more freedom in my 40s. But it's like that's generally not how it works.
Yeah.
You know, people get kids, they get a house, they get a mortgage, they get all these things. And by the time that they're 40 years old, they're not the kind of person that would dedicate all their time to rock climbing or cycling around the planet or dedicating their lives to drawing.
And I feel, and I feel like people plan for that.
Yeah.
Plan for their future, but it's like you gotta enjoy life now.
Yeah.
You know, maybe because the thing is like tragic things happen too, and you know you can't. You gotta look out for that too. Like you can't plan for like I wanna save money and do this and then that because I wanna be free in the future.
Right.
But it's like now is when you're young, when you're more energetic, when you can do a lot, you know. And I would say, you know, like be happy now. Don't like you can't just say like you know.
The only caveat I would say to that though, and this is kind of like the reason why I dedicated so much time to work, not so much corporate, but just trying to get out of that situation and build something on the side for myself, is the fact that it is the easiest time to start now, which is like I'm in my 20s, right? I have a lot of energy, you know, I have no kids, not even a fur baby. Right. This is the time to make something for myself. And that was the motivation to get out of that rat race of the corporate life is I know that it's only going to get harder. Yeah. And it's like, it's not so much now or never. It's just now or it's going to be 10 times harder to do whatever you want to do.
Right. And what I mean by this too is like, I don't mean be happy as in like, don't do anything. Yeah. That doesn't make you happy. Yeah. Right. We all know that. You still have to, you know, make habits like do something about it, you know, how to stay healthy, how to make money in ways where, you know, we're so lucky we have the internet, man. Yeah, it's crazy. We're so lucky, like
it's a miracle.
It's actually a miracle.
Seriously.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think about it every day, right? It's like I'm going to record this podcast. It's going to be seen by X amount of people, but there's like hundreds of thousands of fiber optic cables underneath the ocean that enable this to even be a possibility that I'm not even acknowledging most of the time.
Oh, yeah. Now you put it that way.
I know.
We don't even think of it like that.
It's like, well, the thing I say, it's like, it's essentially black magic, you know? It's like, even this van or even like the climbing shoes that you guys wear or the chalk, it's like, I have no idea what went into any of that stuff. But it enables us to
do so much.
To be creative.
Yeah.
You know, and I think gratitude, it sounds like a cliche, but that's like the cornerstone, I think, of being like living a successful life.
Yeah. No, I vouch by that. I actually keep a journal and write like, you know, the cliche, like the 3 things I'm grateful for. Oh my gosh. Like, you know, I went through this whole phase of like reading like a ton of like self-help books. So I've been doing that for probably 7 years now. Yeah. And I 100% think it helped me get through.
It fucking helps.
It's crazy. No, it does.
Oh, we can cuss? Okay, cool. Disclaimer. No, I love that.
Yeah.
For sure. Practice gratitude.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And the thing is like, it's crazy to me how I'm connecting with people from all over the world.
Yeah.
And close friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, we would have never met if it wasn't for Rockentry, right? Because Rockentry is connecting me with people that are like as passionate as I am with climbing, but they're as passionate as I am with my content.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and then
crazy. Yeah,
it's so crazy. Yeah. Like, you know, from all over the world, from Mexico, France, from Europe, like everywhere.
Yeah. Seriously.
And we're not limited to just our surroundings, you know? It's just...
Well, and just that pure enthusiasm and just sharing those ideas in like in a way that gets people excited, that's the thing that gets like... You don't have to necessarily be the best artist or climber or any of that stuff to be able to say something of value.
Yes.
Which I feel like a lot of people, at least in the art sphere, they wait until they're way up here when they can say something to like the 15-year-old version of themselves. That is of value. You know?
Right. Yeah. Actually, I think I'm a huge testament to that because I'm not like a I'm not like a crazy strong climber or anything. I make memes. Like I make silly little memes that somehow connect to people.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, I feel like I was doing something that was a little different because I felt like a lot of people in the climbing community had the same thought. It's like, I'm not going to post like a V2. Who cares? But a lot of people care. It does help a lot of people. If anything, you're helping the majority because most people don't climb V10s. You know? So
well, and most people on the planet can't do a pull-up, too.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. It took me like 3 years, friends.
That's really hard.
Yes,
so
seriously.
when I started Rockentry, I wasn't a good climber.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a good content creator.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I going to do this if I suck?
Yeah. Right.
You know? But if I did not start, I would have not documented my journey.
Yes.
And I would have not connected as well as I connect with people now.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, I'm putting out content. I'm not a pro climber. I'm still not, like, I'm 37 years old. I'm like, I started climbing at 30.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know? But I'm glad I started making content and not knowing where, like, I didn't know it was gonna get me to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and not caring either, you know?
Yeah.
Like you have to start.
Yeah.
You have to start somewhere.
The reason why I was making content, it was, you know, for my mom. You know, she was sick and she wanted to know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll put out a video. And then she's like, oh, can you put another one?
Yeah.
You know, because that helps me through my treatment.
Right.
You know? And then people started commenting. And then I kept posting.
Yeah.
And then it kept growing.
Right.
And then we're like, oh my goodness, this is
And
crazy.
we actually met another subscriber the other day that said that she was going through the exact same thing.
Yeah. Right.
And she started opening up to us. And it's like, you would have not gotten that kind of connection if you didn't go through all that you did and ignore the haters in the beginning. Because the thing is, like, it's not like you didn't care, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it still hurts getting those comments. I mean, like, I read his comments sometimes and I'm like, wow, how are these people?
Comments too.
Yeah. Like, what is wrong with some people? But, you know, you still have to keep going because your greater purpose was to connect to your mom and,
Yeah,
you know.
and to the right people, because there's always going to be people, you know, not wanting you to succeed, or like the thing is, like, they would tell me, like, why are you climbing? You suck, you know?
Yeah.
Like when I started my YouTube channel, but now I don't get those comments. It's different because, you know, I'm an experienced climber. But the thing is, like, they didn't have to do that when I started, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, last time we were at the gym and this girl comes up to me and she's like, so happy to see me.
Yeah.
And then she starts tearing up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is like, you know, and I was
It's
like,
really special.
Oh man. I was like, I have to keep doing this.
Yeah. Right.
Like she connected with my videos.
Right.
She's like, I love your videos and all that. And then, yeah, it's funny because we were just climbing and all of a sudden we have like a completely different feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, but all that is like, it's all the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, and I guess it's like, I don't know. I've heard people talk about acts of service being one of the most valuable, like in fulfilling ways of just living your life, where like at a certain point, people like David Goggins or people that are really big, they don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, they're famous and wealthy enough to just quit and just like, you know, do whatever they want for the rest of their lives. But there's a thing that keeps them doing it that, like, you know, it's for those people. It's for those emails I get where it's like, you're the reason I was able to manage to do this.
Right.
To get out of, you know, off the couch, you know, or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that my YouTube channel is very small. I have like 2,000 subs.
No, it's so
That's
big.
not small.
That's not small. No, you're doing amazing.
Oh,
like,
thank you.
You're doing amazing.
But-
2,000, only 2,000.
I know, only
That's
2,000.
a lot.
Like, how long did it take you? Like 2,000.
It took me 6 months to get like 150 subscribers.
Well, thank
So
you.
don't give me that.
I know, he's like, how dare you?
Well, but it's like, you know, I guess one comparison could be like, I'm not Mr. Beast, right? I don't have 100 million subscribers. It's, you know, I'm only getting like 300 views per video. It's like, that's a very easy thing to fall path, but it's also, I'm also trying to acknowledge, like, oh, fucking 300 people clicked on this thing.
Yeah.
That's like, a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, I had I went to speak at this event, right?
Yeah.
And it was one of my first time. No, I've done it before, but this time it's like it was like more about, you know, helping brands and content creators how to, you know, create content, how to make content, how I make content that's worked for me.
Right.
And it was crazy because there was like 60 people, and I was like, oh my God, this is a lot of people.
Right.
This is a lot of people. And now, like, it's just crazy how videos are getting like thousands, 100,000 views, and it's like, you know, imagine having 300 people in front of you.
It's crazy, right?
And they're watching the whole thing because your content's long. That's the thing.
I saw that I have like 10,000 hours of total watch time.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
It's like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like somebody like the collective, like that's enough time to master a skill. You know?
Yes.
But just like watching my podcast.
Yeah.
No, I was watching, we were talking about statistics on podcasts last time, and it talks about how, you know, when people listen to podcasts, like once you have that audience, they typically listen for over 65% of your episode, like or and above. That's huge.
Yeah.
Especially because your podcast is like what, an hour long or so, like
1 to 3 hours.
So you don't have a person just listening to 10 minutes. They're there.
They know you.
They know you.
And your guests.
Well, and I guess like again, like I was saying at the beginning of the conversation, I struggle with pretty bad social anxiety, and like
that's crazy.
Well, and this is just like me practicing, just like putting myself in front of a camera and saying things that I believe in.
And
the fact that anybody has listened to it has been like, oh, great, that's insane. Like I have something of value to offer to people. You know,
you do, because that's a lot of people struggle with that, and you're conquering it. That's amazing.
Well, it's like the baby steps. You know, having friends help out with it, and you know, I really appreciate you guys being on.
We're happy to be on.
Fun, honestly.
Well, and it's like, you know.
By the way, it's not sketchy at all, man.
You should have seen the previous van. It was like, the previous van was like, it was like a panel van. It was like a candy van.
Hey, but you still made it happen. You didn't let that stop you. That would have stopped a lot of people.
I'm super stubborn. So
no, I love that. That's what it takes, right? Because I personally believe that anybody can do anything. Like it's so dumb, right?
Yeah,
optimism, but and I know it's like dumb, but at the same time, I'd rather choose to believe something like that. And I think the fact that you're doing that, because I mean, we all have our challenges to overcome, right? I wouldn't say that I have social anxiety, but I didn't know English for a long time. I didn't let that get to us, you know. Or same thing with you. Yeah. So it's like everybody has their own struggle, and as long as you're stubborn and you just don't let that stop you, I think you can do anything for sure.
Yeah. I think the thing that generally is holding people back is their ability to stand in their own way. You know.
Yeah.
To like look at their own ideas and be like, that's a bad idea. Like how many hurdles pop up when they're like, oh, I want to make a YouTube video, or I should write a book, or I should like make a children's book, or any of that kind of stuff. And like generally the hurdles might be like, oh, no one's gonna like it, no one's gonna buy it, it's gonna be a waste of time, or any of that kind of stuff. And and I guess going back again, I think there's a lot of parallels between what you guys do and what like a lot of artists do in my life.
Right.
It's just general creativity and general like, I don't know, like there's a parallel there that I find really strange.
And I'll say this: I never considered myself an artistic or creative person ever. I kind of equate creativity to drawing and like painting and, you know, the conventional way of creativity, the way that was defined. And so I never thought of like content creating because I was like, I'm not creative. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this before. I created content for my own company, but I never actually showed my face. I never actually made any videos, you know. And then now it wasn't until he came in and was like, hey, like you should start creating content. Try it out. And what I did was I committed, and I was just like, okay, if I'm going to try it out, I want to be able to say that I tried it out. So I posted every single day for a year. Or longer, actually. Yeah. And that's how I found out, okay, like, I don't think I'm naturally good at it, but now I am. Like,
she got really good. She got really good because she didn't stop. She continued and she took her time to learn how to make content. She and now she's like, you know, has a following of like what, 26,000
26,000
almost 1,000 on YouTube. That's actually, I'm like,
almost
really
1,000 on YouTube.
Like, I was like, what the heck? That's crazy.
And she gets recognized outside. It's just crazy how
well, but so that's why I go back to the just be stubborn. You can figure it out regardless. But
it does take work. Like even setting this up, setting up your appointments with people that it takes work. It takes effort.
All the way out here. That's crazy.
Well, and I found out about you through one of Magnus's videos. And
sweet. Which one?
I think it was in New York.
Oh, wow.
New York gym. And I remember seeing him talk about like most of his time is spent like editing still, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of behind the scenes tedious work that goes into all this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's not like it's super glamorous once you get to the, you know, the pinnacle of you know, what from the outside might look like you're balling and you know, able to like take care of yourself and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I still imagine a big portion of what you guys do is editing.
Yeah.
You know, and just like
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, a lot of editing.
Yeah.
There's so much work involved in like scripting, editing, planning,
Right.
and reshooting, and like and then once the video's out, it's like, oh great.
Right.
But
everything leading up to that.
Yeah, like people are like, I want to start. They tell me like, I want to start a YouTube channel, blah blah. I'm like, all right, get started. Like you just do, like you know. But some people just want a structure, like you know, like what do I need to do, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then once they realize how much work it takes,
right.
And
just trial and error too, you know.
Yeah, and then it takes trial and error. The thing's like you're not always gonna get it right the first time. If you do, you're lucky, but it's really rare.
No, and I would say that even if you do get it right the first time, and you don't know what got you to that point, you're not going to be able to replicate that success if it was just like an accident.
Yeah. Well, and I guess just trying out a bunch of different things too, because somebody might try out what Magnus does or what you do, and they might fail because you guys are already doing it. But if they try a new medium or new platform or that kind of stuff, that there's always space for somebody to exist.
Yeah.
You know, there's always
Yeah. When I started, my content was, well, I was one of the first climbing channels. Yeah. Period. So it's like I didn't really have, you know, people to look. You know, there was only like 3 channels.
Yeah.
But thankfully I created my own, you know, channel. Like it's very unique. It's like different than I tell my story. Nobody has my story. So I share my story. I share what I learned through climbing, and I just like whatever I learn, I script it, edit, and I put it out. This is what I learned, you know, and stuff like that. But that's hard too, because like there's nothing to look at and you know guide me in an easy path. That's why it was so hard for me to, you know, grow the channel. But it's real, man. Repetition, like just iteration. Just like iterate. Make as much content as possible. Just keep doing it. Same thing with drawing, right? Like you can't be. It's really hard.
Oh my goodness,
you know,
And the worst thing about it is you're failing publicly. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh. Right. Like you're like, hey, look at my content. Yeah. Here it is, world. And of course, world is going to respond. Like they're not going to hold back if they think it's not the best content in the world. So that I think was the hardest part for me, at least. Not even the hours that you put in there. Right.
Well, and I guess the other flip side of that as well is like you might be really successful and you might be on this path, but then even in spite of that success, you'll still doubt the formula, or you'll doubt the path. You know, be like, oh, I'm a fraud. You know, everyone's like,
imposter syndrome.
like
imposter
all my
syndrome.
videos suck, or you know, all this stuff. You know?
Imposter syndrome's there.
We talked about that.
Yeah, we've talked about that in our podcast actually. But I was gonna say something I forgot, but it's. Yeah, again, going back to that, man, like you just got to do a lot on whatever it is. If you want to get really good at that craft, at that skill, you just got to do it a lot. Yeah. You know? And you can't just be like, I want to get good. You just got to do. Yeah. You know? Just got to do it. Yeah.
I don't know if you follow Alex Hormozy, but one of the things that he said, I think you would like him a lot if you listen to Gary Vee and stuff. Yeah. So one of the things that he said that helped me was pretty much like, what kind of time horizon are you looking at when you're mapping out your journey? A lot of people nowadays we're so used to being like, well, I want like 100,000 followers in like 3 months, right? Because of TikTok and whatever. But you have to think of it as like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Can you still see yourself like putting in the work and doing what you're doing? And I think that helps you kind of look past all the shitty stuff that's going on, which is like the no views, like the hate comments and stuff like that. But the longer you can think, like the time horizon, I think the more successful and the chances of success is higher. Well,
there's something somebody once said to me once. It's happiness rests in day-to-day habits. You know? It's like you're a lot more likely to be successful at something you enjoy doing versus something you hate doing, because you're just going to be doing it for longer.
Yes.
You know? Just like compounding interest over time. Like you're like, if you stay up until 11 p.m. loving your job from 6 a.m., you're gonna do really, really great work. Just eventually.
Yes.
You know?
Right.
And like the more that you can I guess like lean on just your intrinsic motivation and your intrinsic just like love for the craft that you're doing.
Right.
That's going to be the thing that's actually what I think is actually the most valuable resource.
Yeah.
You know? It's like somebody's actual attention, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a really good book on that, Compound Interest.
Oh, yeah. I have not read the book.
Oh, no way. It's like...
I suspect that there's a lot of...
amazing. That totally.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
I think it does, I was just thinking, like, it does actually probably tie into a lot of conversations you've had with the people you have.
Yeah, seriously. If there's anybody out there that it's really dread their days...
Yeah.
Do something about it, man.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
seriously, take your time. Take your time to figure out, you know, try new things. If you don't know what you're passionate about, what's your passion, try new things, you know, like explore, experiment, but do fail, repeat, you know, until you find that. Take your time. Don't just dread the day and then just, you know, not look forward to the next day. Yeah. That's not good, you know, like.
Right. I think we also, this is something that we talk about a lot. We're both immigrants. Yeah. So we kind of, I mean, for me at least, I was able to see what it's like outside of the U.S. Yeah. And I'm not saying that we're the best country. Like, we have issues, don't get me wrong. But as far as opportunities to make something for yourself, it's here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And looking at like what my family has gone through to get me to this point, I don't really think that there's any better motivator out there, you know, outside of that. And knowing that I can do what I have the freedom to change my life here. I think that keeps us going.
Well, and I think the tragic part about being a human is that you don't have to look far into anybody's life to find some fundamental human tragedy. You know, somebody's parents died, somebody gets sick, you know, they lose their job, they lose their house, whatever. You know, everyone has some thing in their life that they could use as an excuse or something that is like a motivator for them to go and like, you know, just go do something about it. You know, like I think in my life when I've been on like a somewhat darker path, it's because I've looked at my life from the wrong perspective. Like I've looked at myself like, oh, this stuff happened to me, so that's an excuse not to go try new stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a little bit of like a self-defeating attitude. But that's,
you know? It's the reality is that it's easy to have that as an excuse. You know, like me. And everybody has their situation, right? Yeah. I'm just gonna explain mine. Like mine is like, I lost my job, my girlfriend at the time, to take care of my mom full time. Yeah. Yeah. So I went from being very wealthy, looking for a home to purchase, to my bank account decreasing. Yeah. Right. And then being worried about like my mom and stuff like that. Yeah. I was like, I lost everything, and I could have easily used that as an excuse of like, well, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I'm fucked. Yeah. You know? Like, this is what I do now. I'm a caregiver. Yeah. Right. You know? But going back to, you gotta try things and figure out things to... The thing is, like, it takes work to be happy, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to be happy consistently. Like, you gotta... So I was like, I gotta do something, you know? And the thing is, like, accepting the fact that it's like it takes work. Oh man, it'll work out.
Absolutely.
Like just be it. It's gonna take work. Yeah. Fuck it.
Well, so I'm not a religious person, but I think this is like a metaphor that's like really that I've like latched onto, where it's like, you know, humans are made in the image of God, which means like you can look at a tree and be like, that's a spear, or that's like a, you know, a log to build a house, or that's firewood or anything, or it's just a tree, you know. And it's all about your perspective and your like ability to see something like a rock and be like, that's a fucking YouTube channel, you know? that's like, I'm gonna climb that shit, you know? That's incredible, right? Yeah. That's like so cool. Yeah, you know? But it's both things at once. It's a rock, which is nothing, right? Yeah. Or it's like this thing that could really improve your guys' life and get a lot of joy out of.
Yeah. You know? I'm going to butcher the quote, but I think it's something along the lines of nothing is ever good or bad. It's the way that you see it is so. Right. And I live by that. And I think, you know, the hard thing about all these excuses and all these tragedies is that they're valid. Like anybody can look at Ozzy's story and be like, oh, you it's okay if you know, like railed off the trail a little bit and do something crazy with your life or not be able to pick yourself back up. Nobody would blame him because he went through 5 years of depression. Yeah. But it's, you know, at the end of the day, you can live in that or you can do something to change your life. Like, it's hard. Like, I'm not saying that it's easy, but what's at the end of the day, what's going to make your life better? Yeah. Just sitting there and thinking about it and letting it affect you, or you know, get over, like, you do something about it.
That's a really good point. I like that, because it's like somebody else outside perspective, they're like, oh, it makes sense, you know. Right. That's why you're where you're at. Yeah. It's like, no, it's not okay. Yeah. This person has to do something about it, no matter how hard it is, no matter what you're going through, you know? Yeah. You got to do something about it. Yeah. That's why it's very important who you surround yourself.
I think so too.
Right? Because if you surround yourself by people that are telling you like, oh, too bad, or, well, you know, or they're not pushing themselves, what, like, you're most likely not going to push yourself either. Yeah. You know, you need, it's very important who you surround yourself with, who you.
But it's also like, you know, people who say that are trying to be compassionate, obviously. That's the hard part. Is like, it is, like I said, it is tragic and it is very sad. Nobody's going to look at you and be like, get yourself back up. Like, nobody would ever say that to you. But like, you know, again, if you want to move past it, that is unfortunately what you have to do, is make something out of it.
Well, you have to look at your pain and be like, you know, you kind of have to kill your ego a little bit. Like, I'm not special. It's not actually that bad, you know. Or I can manage to, like, go for a walk at the very least.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. And it's like, I guess, you know, I'm both people at different points in my life. Like, I'm the guy that'll sit in bed and watch cartoons and eat Ben & Jerry's, and the person that will, like, live in a van full time and, like, you know, I got into cycle touring last year and stuff. And
you got into what?
Cycle touring.
What is that?
Like riding. Like, I did San Diego to San Luis Obispo.
Oh, nice.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
See, that's hard. Yeah. I'd rather climb a rock.
but I'm both people, right? I'm like, you know, extremely lazy a lot of the time, and you know, it's okay.
Yes.
A lot of the time,
no,
you know?
but to be honest, we're
all like that.
You know, we're all like that. Like, there's like, we're not always. Oh shoot, sorry. It's okay.
Sorry. Continue that thought.
It's I was gonna say,
we're all like that.
Yeah, we're all like that. We're not always working and not resting. We're like, some days we're like just chilling, you know, just like, because we're not so hard on ourselves. We're not trying to make like a freaking, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, relax. Yeah. You know, you can have. I know some people see it as a bad thing. It's like, oh, you're lazy, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, you're doing things. Right. You know, you're making things happen. If you're not doing anything about it, if you're just being lazy and that's it, that's the problem. Yeah. Right? Yeah. That's a problem. Same thing. This is how I see it. If you want to be fit, you don't work out every day hard.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You need time to recover. You need time to like heal up, to build up, right? So we all have our resting days and where you can do pretty much whatever you want, you know?
Absolutely. Well, and I heard from a psychologist or this psychiatrist once, he was giving a lecture, and it was about like how the job of a therapist is not to give them the advice that'll fix their life. It's to give them advice that they'll actually take.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, you know, if you want to tell somebody to, you know, if somebody wants to be a runner, you know, if you don't tell them to go run 10 miles a day, even though if they can do that, that's the best advice you can give them. Right. No one's going to go and do that, actually, you know. Yeah. Like, going up and just getting off your couch and walking around the block is a lot more likely, you know, you're a lot more likely to do that than go and run 10 miles, you know. Yeah. And then you just do incremental progress from there. Yeah. And, like, it's okay. Yeah, again, it like both like letting your brain rest and also hustling when you can.
Yeah.
It's again, it's a cliche, but it always comes back to balance.
Yeah. Right. Something sustainable for sure. Yeah. And doing, like you said, that I really like that, actually. It's like doing a habit that is so easy to do every day. Like journaling, like writing something that you're grateful for, but it leads to other actions. And it's like, actually, for me, it's like, that's how I get my day started. It's like, what's like the easiest thing I can start right now? Because usually it leads to other things that, you know, my work, it's like my to-do list. If I do one, I'm most likely going to do the other one.
Yeah, that's true.
So I really like that.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, it's so easy to get overwhelmed with all the things that you have to do through the day. Yeah. Or the things that you want to do. You can easily get overwhelmed. So what you got to do is just cut down your tasks and then just start with one, and then that would most likely, you know, get you to do the next task, and then the next, and then it's a, you know, nice what do they call, like trickle effect, whatever it is.
Domino
effect. Yeah, no, seriously, it and then next thing you know, it's like a big thing.
Yeah. Well, and again, I think it's like the most important step is always the next one. You know?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, also the first one, but you know, it's like, listening to anyone talk about their journey, it's like Goggins or like any great athlete, it's like them just puttering around on their own with no following, like no one watching. That was the thing that like led them to where they are now.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And every second, like the danger there wasn't like going slowly or not going as fast as anyone else. It was like looking at other people and being like, I'm not as far as they are. That's a reason to stop. You know, it's like the comparison element of all this stuff can be, you know, like a nihilism thing.
Yeah.
Super quickly.
Yeah, that's so easy for people to stop doing whatever it is that they're doing once they start comparing themselves with somebody that's been doing it for so long or has so much experience or worked so hard to get there.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can't can't compare with other people.
Yeah.
It's hard to do, but if you catch yourself doing that, you have to take a step back and just realize what's going on, what you're doing right now. You know, that person, if you look back to where they started where you're starting. Everybody starts from zero, man. You know?
Yeah. But it's just nobody heard or saw those whatever content or art that they put out because they weren't known back then.
It's like the successful entrepreneurs. Everybody talks about their success, but not their failures. Yeah. It takes a lot of failure to get to where they're at, you know?
And continue going. Yeah. It's hard, though. I mean,
well, I guess talking about successful entrepreneurs and talking to them, it's like the amount of money they've spent just on failures is sometimes mind-blowing. You know? Millions of dollars.
Oh my God, I have a lot of respect that people who are going back to that they do fail and not stop.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, you know, because guess what? Now you know more than you did before.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Which is so valuable. Well, it's so valuable.
And you might, you know, a way of looking at it is like you might have paid $10,000 or $100,000 or $1 million for that lesson. You know, like a way of not doing something or something, which you can carry over into your next ventures.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I think people undervalue the skill and the knowledge and the experience that they gain from their failures. Right. And you never really start from zero. Right. Like if you were to take Rockentry, SophiaChalks, all those things that we're working on, and we start from zero. Yeah. But we'll bet you anything we'll get to where we are way faster now.
Oh yeah,
because we're not starting from zero.
Yeah. And you guys have a community of people as well, and like you have just so much support, and you know how to do it now.
Yeah, and it's not money. It's like way more than that. The value that we have. Yeah.
Well, it's your brain. It's what you know.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, right?
And that's value. Yeah. But people don't see that as value. Yeah. People see it as like they see the failure and they're like, oh, I failed.
Right.
It's over.
No, you gain so much from it.
Right.
You know, unless you consistently continue to continue do the same thing and fail at the same thing, like you're not learning from it. Yeah. Then you're gonna get the same result.
Yeah.
Right. So you gotta iterate. You gotta continue doing. You know.
And I guess another aspect of that as well is like having an infinite amount of money is not the thing. That like will make your thing great, because like every year there's tons of movies that are put out that have insane budgets, like $300 million budgets, and no one cares. No one wants to go see them. You know? And then there's like, you know, grassroots films or even YouTube channels or something that blow up because it's like real love and real care is put into it. You know. And like I don't know. It's like, again, I think somebody's real attention and like love of a craft again is the thing that will, especially nowadays, like with YouTube and Instagram and just the power of social media. That's the thing that'll, I guess, make something more valuable.
We live in the best time, like as far as marketing and as far as getting our message out there. I would not want to be anywhere else but now or like the future. You get what I'm saying? It's like I can't imagine a bigger and better opportunity than what we have now. Even just like 10 years ago, it's not the same. Even last year or the year before TikTok, I would say it's harder, but then it just gets easier and easier because every company is competing with each other. It's amazing.
Yeah, and that's how people need to realize too, is like you already have an advantage. Yeah. You have the internet. You have social media. You have an advantage start. Yeah. You know, you just... You know? Yeah. Because back then, oh man, I don't know how they did it.
I don't know.
You're buying a billboard.
You're buying a billboard?
Like a square and like the newspaper.
Sketchy Van Podcast billboard?
I mean, it's strange driving through, because like we drove through Prim and I guess like these like small casino towns and just seeing like they're so archaic, you know? Yeah. It's like a future or like a past that didn't suspect the internet would be around.
Yeah.
Internet gambling
Oh my gosh, yeah.
totally makes that stuff obsolete.
That's so true.
And it's like these giant fucking, like they're beautiful buildings, but they're giant, really expensive, beautiful buildings that no one is in.
And nobody's in it. That's it. All that money and
it's crazy, right?
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't think about that, but
Man,
that's
talking
true.
about backwards. Yeah, no, it's funny because even, to be honest, even in the climbing community, it's a little bit archaic sometimes. I don't know how it is in the arts community.
It totally is.
Oh, really?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, it's because, I don't know, people sometimes get tied to a certain form of drawing, they get tied,
I see.
like 1700s French illustration or fine art.
Yeah.
Like some people just want to, they think that that's the highest form of art.
I see.
Like,
it's kind of like people think like climbing outdoors is better than
it's like climbing outdoors is the real climbing.
Oh yeah. There's absolutely 100% purist.
Yeah, purist.
Yeah.
So in drawing too. So let me ask you this: do some people be like, "Oh, you're using digital art"?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, really?
yeah. You're not a good artist.
No way. Oh, actually, I saw this thing that you know how like the AI art has been. Yeah, and people are not happy about it at the same time. Like there's a hashtag that I saw, something like support real artists. Because I'm assuming they don't think AI. Absolutely. I mean, obviously, I'm not an artist. I don't know. Yeah. But I'm like, I think it's cool. But but I can see some artists having issues with like digital.
So I guess the AI thing. I'm a proponent-ish for the technology itself, but the way it's being like the information's being acquired without the consent of the artists.
Got it.
So they're taking their images and essentially.
Oh no, that's different.
Yeah, that's different.
So that's all.
Okay.
But I guess it might be different. Yeah, I guess it might be different people. But there's like this giant thing in the art community right now where everyone's posting to their Instagram and like a AI with an X through it because everyone's trying to blacklist or protest the use of AI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
See, that's not cool. That's like consent. But but the concept of AI is that accepted at all?
Well, there are a lot of people that I've heard everything under the sun for like what is art and what's not art. It's like if it's made by a computer or if it's made by if it's made digitally or if it's whatever. There's always somebody that's going to stand in the way and be like, that's a waste. That's
that's not art.
That's not art.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I think part of the thing, like, at a certain point, I think being an artist is less difficult and it's more of like an act of bravery. It's like you putting your flag in the stand and being like, this thing that I really care about that is kind of dumb is really, really valuable. Like sculpting monsters and drawing pirates is something I really care about. So I'm gonna fucking do that.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, for something like rock climbing or drawing or painting, somebody who's in like STEM or who's like researching how to cure cancer or any of that kind of stuff might look down on it because it's not practical, And again, it's like, I don't know. I think that form of thinking is like generally like narrow-minded, and patronizing to a lot of people who, like I think what you guys do is actually extremely valuable to a lot of people.
Thank you.
And same thing with art.
Yes. And I strongly oppose anybody who thinks that the one form of anything is over the other because you're basically saying that you're the authority in determining the value.
You're basically
like who am I to determine like the value of somebody else's work?
I think it's just fear that their way of doing things
it's going to be obsolete.
Obsolete, and it's like no, this is a true thing. You guys don't
It's called crab in a bucket. You ever heard of that?
Yeah. People try
like
to pull
you
each other
down. Yeah. Anytime I see anything like that, even in the climbing community, even people against social media, when you talk about business, and it's like they're like, well, TikTok is dumb. It's like, no.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm sorry, like who are you to say? Like not the I don't even know hundreds of millions.
Well, if they don't want to use it, they don't have to use it.
Yeah, but don't be like it's dumb. Just say you don't want to use it. Or just admit that you don't understand.
Just admit that you don't understand. That you don't.
Yeah. And they might be great rock climbers too. They might be great technical rock climbers. And and I guess that's a strange thing about all this stuff is that like just because somebody's existed in a space for a while, it's not like their like expertise or mastery of a craft doesn't give them the right to diminish somebody else's.
Yes, they may be an expert in that. That you can't take that away from them, of course. But don't start imposing that to other people's like work and whatever their creativity is. It's like who are you to judge? Who's anybody to judge?
And I think again, like further you go along, I think the more haters you probably get too.
Oh yeah, no, the bigger you become, there's it's just, you know, I don't know what it is, but that's just the way it is. It's like, no matter what you do, there's always going to be somebody that's like, just doesn't like you.
Yeah, right.
And why? That's just the way it is. Yeah. Like, there's nothing, but if you spent your time trying to please somebody that just doesn't like you, it's like, but we're talking about like, you know, a minority, like very small, but everybody has that. When you start off, you only have people that are more trolls. Yeah. But then you have people that just don't, you know, because going back to, it's like, oh, you're just a YouTuber, you know, YouTuber climber. Yeah. Or you're just trying to, you know, take advantage of climbing with, you know, making money and stuff. But it's like, they don't see the value, the work that it takes to provide the value and the connection that I get with people that actually care and actually changes who they are too as a person. Yeah. Right? Because I change based off of some, you know, YouTube content. Yeah. Like during my depression is like, I gotta change my life. Yeah. I watched the video and I was like, I want to be strong too. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna dedicate myself 1 year training. Mm-hmm. And I did it and I documented it and I put it out there. Yeah. Guess what? That video inspired other people to do what happened to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. You know, if you can put stuff out like that you inspire other people to, you know, better themselves. Yeah. Man.
Well, I think for me, a lot of dealing with those kind of emotions has to do with like killing your heroes, you know? It's like killing the people that like you really look up to that aren't doing what you're doing and being like, you know, I'm not going to do exactly what they did. I'm going to do my own thing. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. Right. It's like, you know, for a lot of artists, they have like in the art world, like teaching is a big thing. So there are a lot of mentors and a lot of people that really aspire to be like other artists. And I think there's a common saying. It's like a good teacher makes their students better than them. Yes. You know.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think that means like that teacher or that student becoming a better version of the teacher. It means the student is surpassing them in whatever they're meant to be good at. Yeah. You know, it's like if somebody's really good at drawing portraits and their teacher's really good at drawing landscapes, it's like if they embrace portraits but they still stuck at landscapes, that's them surpassing their teacher even though they're still like,
you know? Yeah. And I think that's a good way to see. Like I have climbers that come up to me and it's like, oh man, like your climbing helped me and all that stuff. Yeah. Next thing you know is like they're climbing V12s.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. It's crazy.
Well, because
they're climbing way stronger than I am, and they still, you know, they saw the value. They took it and they got even way stronger than. Yeah. And that's what I expect. Yeah. You know, that has to be. Yeah. If it's not, then you're not doing something right. But you have to have people that everything has to get better.
Right. Well, that's part of moving the like society as a whole. And it's so grandiose, but it's like that's part of moving society as a whole forward, right? That's the whole point. Yeah. We have resources that he didn't have. Pretty much like me as a newer climber-ish, right? I had resources. I had YouTube videos that taught me to do things that would have taken me months to figure out, but I watched a YouTube video and I got through it. Yeah. And so naturally, I should be better. And I should, you know, be learning at a faster rate because I have all this information. Yeah. And I think it is the marker of a great coach. Yeah. And absolutely. I would be doing a disservice to myself if I don't take advantage of the situation that I'm in with all the information that I have. Yeah. And I think I would say some coaches and teachers probably also kind of let ego, you know, in front of that too. Because I feel like there are certain coaches out there that don't try to make their students better. I've seen that too because they're like, I'm supposed to be the better one, you know, and they can't let that go. Yeah. But no, with Ozzy for sure, I think he genuinely wants people to be better, and I feel like it comes through. In his content.
I've coached a lot of climbers that started V3, and then next thing you know, they're like surpass me.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't diminish what you have to say either.
No, I love that. Yeah. It makes me happy. You know, it makes me feel good because those people on top of that appreciate this relationship too, and they still like it's amazing, man. It's an amazing feeling seeing. In the future, I'm gonna make a video of one person that I'm training that went from V3 and not fit, overweight, to right now he's so fit and I'm still training him and it's just an amazing feeling to be able to help people. Like you can't that's awesome, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's strange. All this stuff is really bizarre.
Yeah, no, it's strange. But another thing is like for me, it's I love connecting with people. Yeah. I love helping people. I love, there's something. The thing is like, I want to do good here. Yeah.
Right.
And it's not just earning money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I want to impact people.
Right.
I wanna help people. I want to do my part. But help, when I mean help, it just doesn't just mean anyone.
Yeah.
I want to help people that are like doing their best,
right.
doing their heart, and they're actually, doing their part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, again, I think there's a lot of parallels between learning how to climb and learning how to do art well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tons of parallels.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just like do it every day. Don't beat yourself up too much. Like stay on a schedule. Do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Or like anything, or building a business on the side. It's like it's the same thing. Or even just getting fit in general. Yeah. It's like it's all about the little things that you do, the compounded effect from doing the little things every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and getting 1% better.
I was listening. I forgot what I was listening, but it was talking about if you focus so much on the goal, it's going to be so much harder for you to achieve something than if you focus so much on the effort.
Yeah, the process.
The process, right? Which is awesome.
Yeah, and tying your value to getting things done as opposed to the result. So, like for us, I feel good about myself if I know that I did what I needed to do that day to move forward. Not so much, the video went viral. Like, I don't really care about that. It's about the fact that I did the right thing and I did what I said I was going to do. And tying your value to that and feeling good about that instead of the result, I think helps a lot.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and I think, again, going back to, like, the realities of being a rock climber or a painter or an editor or any of this stuff, it's very tedious. Like, if you're editing YouTube videos, you're just, like, cutting things.
Oh, my God, it's so,
like looking through footage, like, zooming in. I edit on my laptop, so I have, like, a trackpad, and it's like...
I thought you said you don't edit that much.
No, I don't edit, I go back and forth on the camera.
Oh, right.
So,
that's still a lot.
But like, it's like... Or, and I'm sure it's the same thing for rock climbing, but, when you're drawing from life or drawing like a thing, like it's right in front of you. So you have literally all the answers right in front of you. It's like, oh, that thing is that far away from it. This thing is this big. This thing is this shade. Right. Like for climbing a boulder or something, I'm sure it's the same thing. Every answer is right in front of you. And it's just like, if your mind is off, thinking about the subscribers or how many views you're going to get or how much money you need to make or any of that stuff, you're going to do your job worse.
Yeah. And it's
that's true.
So that's why if I put out a video, that's it. I'll move on to the next. Yeah. Like I'm not just going to sit there and count the views, like how many subscribers. It's like, no, my achievement is to put out content. Like that's what I need to do. I just need to put out content.
Yeah.
If one blows up, awesome. I still have to put out content.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop all of a sudden and just I have to keep doing it regardless how it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that it's I don't know. It's helped me a lot. Same thing with climbing, right? Like it's like.
It can't always be about the send.
It can't always be about the send. You gotta challenge yourself every time. Right.
Absolutely.
Mentally, physically, however, whatever it is that you're struggling with.
So I met you guys with Geek Climber.
Yeah.
And we were doing that V7 boulder thing.
Yeah.
The black one.
Yeah.
Like you guys spent a while on it, and it's like. From one perspective, like a YouTuber might want to just show 100% of their successes.
Yeah.
But you guys were grinding on that for like an hour and a half, just like trying over and over again.
Yeah. He ended up getting it. By the way.
I saw. Yeah.
I don't think you guys were there, but you got it.
But it's like that. Like the grind of it was actually part of the art of it.
Yeah.
That's actually like,
Because if I would have just climbed it, the first is like
that's not
okay.
Okay, great.
Great.
Yeah, that's like the content that I put out.
Yeah.
I put those struggles in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I put those struggles in there.
God,
Sometimes I put like Instagram stories or shorts of me not sending something.
Yeah.
But me just, following. One of my videos that blew up on YouTube, one of my shorts, got 15 million
I saw,
views.
That's crazy.
I didn't send the climb. I fell at the end. I fell at the end. And I was like, imagine if my mentality was like, I only share my successes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I guess it goes to a more macro level of all this stuff. It's like the storytelling. Like the thing that you're actually saying, it's like, Are you showing people your rock climbing just to show how much better of a climber than you are than everyone else? Or are you doing it to like, oh, am I actually improving this?
Yes.
Like I talked to Geek Climber about it, and it's like the reason he does this is to like inspire people.
Yes.
He doesn't make a living off of it. He's just like, I'm just doing it because I have to, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the positive feedback and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, and to be honest, it's not like in this industry, it's like there's a lot of money. Like it's not like we're making so much money.
Yeah.
Like I'm just making enough to live by.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But it's so worth it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
right.
Like it's what we need, you know?
It's like a vacation 100% of the time.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing too is like, there's no, like I can continue growing.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think part of the downside of a corporate job is that your growth is determined by somebody else.
That's what I'm saying. There's a
and it
ceiling.
goes towards somebody else too.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like the quality of your work and your competence might not be the thing that actually makes you rise in that environment.
Yeah.
And I love that because there's a ceiling, right? With us as content creators, we just have to be very, very creative, not only on the content, but how to make this work.
Yeah.
How to make money. How to grow. Yeah. How to continue to do this. Like you got to strategize all that stuff. That's the hard part too.
Yeah.
People don't talk about that.
Right.
People talk about the struggles of a content creator, but not as a business.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. That's a struggle too.
Yeah.
It's really hard because we're content creators first when we started, and now we're business owners.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's tough. Well, and I guess it's like it's seeing the parallels between the art world and the YouTube world. It's like I'm surprised that rock climbing YouTubers don't make as much money as I thought. You know,
no,
it's like it's still a grind and it's still difficult to figure out. You know?
So right now it's like I'm talking to brands.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm trying to make it work and all that stuff. So thankfully, there's some brands that are willing to work.
Yeah.
But it's taking so much time to like make these connections, have these conversations and all that stuff. But there's potential. It just takes a lot of convincing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's so much effort, but it's possible. And then there's
a lot of resistance.
There's a lot of resistance. So the thing is like you just got to keep trying.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Did you think that what was your expectation for rock climbing?
Not like a ton of money, but I like just seeing like so I worked for this YouTube channel called Proco for a while. That was like my job for the past 3 years. You know, just like he has like 3 million subs or something, and like he sells courses, and just seeing like how big it got, you know. I assume that there was like some like equivalent to everything else. Like I have another friend who has a YouTube channel called Obese to Beast.
Obese to Beast.
Obese to, okay, got it.
Yeah. And
that's a cool name.
Well, he was like a guy that weighed like 400 pounds and he lost all his weight. And,
Obese to Beast. That's a good name.
Yeah, it's a great name. Yeah.
It's really, damn.
And I guess it's just like the like physical exercise side of YouTube, I think is something, from my perspective, that's kind of an untapped market. You know, it's like I talked to Geek Climber about it, and from what I can tell, it's like a bunch of the higher end brands are targeting like elite climbers, but I think that the average viewership for somebody who like a rock climbing YouTuber is like V3, V2. It's not like the elite climbers.
Yeah.
And maybe there's like some product there that might. I totally disagree with me.
No, totally.
Yeah.
We talk about this all the time. Yeah. There's oh my god.
There's potential. There's potential.
So I have so many like icks about the climbing community. Like when it comes to the business side of things. I think you actually mentioned this too in the Geek Climber podcast.
Yeah.
A lot of them are product based.
Yeah.
Terrible margin.
Yeah.
Like the macroeconomics of like the actual like the whole climbing industry as a whole.
Yeah.
I don't think there's like a lot of hundreds of millionaires of people like walking around. Like they're all
no. The margins suck.
Yeah.
Like, making shoes is tough,
and then you talk to some of them and you're like me myself, I have a own e-commerce store that's like that's my full-time gig. I do SophiaChalks as a funsy thing because it doesn't make that much money.
Yeah.
So I know the e-commerce world and products and stuff like that. I can tell you firsthand margin is not there.
Yeah.
That's not it. And I think that's climbing as a whole. That's if you're thinking about like the top companies in the industry, it's like the shoes, it's pads, it's like and I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's no way that they're making that much money. Yeah. So that's the problem, right? So therefore, it's not even that they don't want to work with creators. It's like, I really don't think they can.
Yeah. Right.
Afford and to pay any of us like an actual living wage.
Yeah.
So if you talk to even the top pro climbers, they probably aren't making as much as anybody, like not even close to what people think. You get what I'm saying?
It's not like the pro climbers are making that much either.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know. It's like for art, the thing that people sell is like tutorials. So it's a digital product.
Right.
There's no overhead. Like there's no shipping, there's no manufacturing. The only thing that you're spending money on is the transactional fees of like 3% per thing.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
The only thing that you're really putting in is your time and your actual knowledge.
Yeah.
And the margins are really high, and all you have to do to make $1,000 a day doing that is to sell like 10 a day at $100 each.
Right. Yeah.
And if you have 200,000, 150,000 subscribers, the conversion rates are so like it's like 1%. They don't need to be that high in order to make a really nice living off of it.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I have this hunch that there might be some digital climbing product that might be possible, that might be able to like fix that problem.
Yeah, I actually have a book, and it sells.
Yeah.
It's
And it sells outside of climbing too.
Right.
On Amazon.
Yeah.
So it's awesome to see that, but it's not the book is not like a tutorial or how to get stronger, stuff like that.
Right.
So obviously something like that would probably get more sales.
Yeah.
Well,
and I guess part of my like hunch with it is that like it's trying to fit the market of every beginner climber who takes the like entry class at their local gym. It's like I consider that doing that when I first started climbing. I was like, there's probably some stuff that would make me go faster if I'd learned like grip or my shoes are actually way too big, I realized. I didn't realize that.
It took me a long time to figure that out too. So
they're like a size too big.
They're too comfortable.
I could walk
no,
in them.
seriously. Yeah, that's not good.
I can run in there. My shoes are actually running shoes.
Oh my god, no. Maybe there's a shoe guide that we can put out. Like, I would.
If I close this real quick.
Oh no.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, now it's too.
There. Oh, this is so pretty. This is nice. Party.
Is this after party right now?
Your backpack is in here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I really think that there's something that you guys. Like.
Yeah. So, to be honest, it's strange, but I tell this to Sophia. It's strange because it's challenging.
Yeah.
But exciting.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, it's so hard. But that's the challenge. Yeah. And if I figure that out, or if we figure that out, it's
huge.
It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
But it does take a lot of work. I have to put in the work to figure that out. Yeah. And I'm gonna put this out here.
Yeah.
I will figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be awesome.
We've been talking about it for sure.
And it's not only gonna be me. Like, I want not only for it to work for me, but to work for others that are coming up.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, well, like a parallel that I see is like chefs in the 90s, like celebrity chefs, before they were celebrities, they were paid absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Like they weren't allowed to talk to the owners of the events that they'd go to, but like they would host these events where like people would pay $10,000 to come cook with some famous, like Gordon Ramsay's mentor guy, I forgot his name, but then they'd get paid like a couple grand and they'd have to pay for their own hotel and they were just doing it for the love of it, and these they're essentially just being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Until this guy came along and was like, oh, why don't we just put your face on the front of like spices in like a supermarket, put you on it, like have your own food channel, all this kind of stuff. And it's like that's the thing that puts celebrities, like celebrity chefs on the map, And again, I really suspect there is like that equivalent,
It's just that challenge. It's gonna be really hard, but there's other things that we're working on together too, like separate and together. And there's something's gonna happen. It's gonna take time, but something's gonna happen. And if anything, I'm just gonna keep trying till I get it right, Because the thing is, like, when we started, I'm telling you, there's only like 3-4 climbing YouTube, and the CPM on it is slow. Like, there's so much, like, this is how I see it. There's an obvious hole.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? I see that as an opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah, it's massive.
Massive, right? We just gotta figure that out. But before I used to see it as like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because we can't make money.
Yeah.
If that hole was already filled, we would have all been making money.
Yeah.
But now I see it as like, if it needs to be filled, that's a bigger opportunity.
Totally.
Right? But it's just that, it's not easy to figure out.
I want to help you guys do a tutorial. Like I would totally help you guys film a tutorial. Or I would show.
Are you serious?
I would show you.
amazing.
Well, like if you guys want to see the tutorials that the people on YouTube, like on the art YouTube, I'll give you access to that.
Dude, let's do it. Let's do it. See, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Opportunities, meeting with people, and then making it work and putting it out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm down,
Yeah.
Like I told you, like we want to interview you in our podcast too, right? Like that's another way for us to connect with other creators, because we want to connect with more creators too, not only brands,
Yeah.
Well, I know, like I've had. You guys are the second rock climbing people I've had.
Oh, wow.
Geek Climber's the
Geek
first.
Climber?
Well, and it's like
What an honor.
I have people who are artists that are rock climbers that like they don't like, they're fans of both you guys.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What?
They're artists and they're fans of you guys. And they're like, oh shit, you guys had Geek Climber on. That's unexpected, but that's so cool.
Oh,
and it's
wow.
Like,
Nice little overlap.
Yeah, so we might make something happen, but that's
Hey,
awesome.
let's make this happen. Like, because we've been talking about it.
Yeah.
For a lot. To be honest, like for me personally, it's more just like I said, it's just like more for fun. I want you to do the tutorial because
I'll do it for Rockentry.
Yeah. So it's like for me, it's like I can't like help as much. I feel like, but I think if you have helping you, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
This is exciting.
I don't know. Again, I think it's like people just want to share ideas, and something like YouTube, like there are people. Yeah, I think people generally talk themselves out of doing something like that because they're like, oh, it's too obvious, the stuff I know, it's too basic, no one would want to know it. But like teaching somebody, like there's always somebody out there that wants to like, it needs to be taught like how to draw a square or like what 1 + 1 is.
So
or like,
right.
Well, so that's why it's funny because when I was making the videos on YouTube, it's like, oh well, what I'm learning is so basic. Like it's like, but when I was putting it out, it was helping people.
Yeah. Right.
So that's why I was like, it does. You'd be surprised how it, like every little step you're taking forward, somebody's like a step behind you that can learn from you.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And
I think the hard part about creators is that we all operate as our own individual little square. Yeah. And it's hard to know exactly like the path because it's like such a brand new space in the grand scheme of things, right? There's no class on like creator 101 how to make money. Right. And so it's hard for us to think of all these things because we're kind of thinking it ourselves. Like we're like, we only know that other artists are teaching classes because of you, because we're talking to you.
Right.
And it's hard because we have to be the creatives, like work on our craft and still have to talk about how to make money. And like you said earlier, it's a different job branching out and making money and connecting with other people and seeing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, see if you can apply.
Behind the scenes, I'm trying to make this work too. Yeah. There's things that are behind the scenes that are happening besides content. Yeah. It's like, how can I make money? Where, so many meetings, right, babe? Like I've been in so many meetings and trying to make it work. And it's like, okay, this does this work?
Yeah, and how much to charge brands if you work with them, if we're getting taken advantage of, and they don't even know what to
they don't even know if they're taking advantage of you.
Yeah, like they don't even know if they should be paying you or it's just giving you product enough. It's like, there's so much miscommunication going on.
So before, I used to see it as I was dreading it before. Like, oh my God, I have to convey that to this. Yeah. So now I'm shifting my mindset and seeing it as problem solving.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So now it like, I was like, okay, how can I boom, boom, boom. So it's things are happening. Yeah. Things are happening, but it's just it's just hard.
It's really cool. I guess I mean, just think about how many thousands or tens of thousands of dollars you've sold in climbing shoes, Yeah. Like just by like encouraging people to get into climbing, or how much gas that you guys have sold by encouraging people to go climb outside.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's like a certain amount. Like
like a Chevron mobile. Like gas is expensive.
But the thing is, like, you gotta, but those brands have to work with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? It takes two, right? Yeah. So even if they see the value and they don't want to work with you, there's nothing you can do. They still get, the exposure. Yeah. Because you can't stop using their products.
Yeah.
Right? But they don't see the value of like what happens if it starts getting promoted. They don't see that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's like being in the channel, whatever product it is.
Yeah.
it's already product placement.
Yeah.
Right? And in the real world, people should be getting paid for that if it's bringing in income.
Yeah.
If the brand sees value in that.
Yeah.
But if they don't see value in that, and they just see it like, Well,
it's crazy, right? Well, and it's like SEO. It's all these different things.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's oh my God, it baffles me. It really baffles me because for my business, I rely heavily on influencers.
Yeah.
I do. I work with a ton of them.
Yeah.
I personally think that these companies need to take accountability for their inability to work with influencers. Meaning, just because you were not able to convert with whoever you're sponsoring doesn't mean that influencer marketing doesn't work. No, you have to look at it as how am I supposed to convert that with who I'm working with, right? Whether that's editing the videos in a way that would sell, or your caption, or your copywriting, or your site, all those things. Yeah. I just with the climbing community as a whole, I just think that there's unwillingness to learn how that works, and obviously backward thinking and like only working with a specific group of people and not people like us.
But even that, right? It's like you're still limited to having somebody. Yeah, true. Like you don't want to limit yourself either. Like for me, sponsorships used to be the thing. Like, great, but there's a limitation there.
Yeah.
Right? There's only so many videos I can put out. Yeah. If I try to put out a lot because I want to get more money, the quality of the video takes a hit because now I'm doing it for the money. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So for me, I can get sponsorships that are not climbing related and stuff like that, but I would prefer it to be climbing related because it works together. Yeah. But the thing is, like, there's something more to it than just a sponsorship. Yeah, true. Like I don't want to think small. Yeah. I don't want to think like just sponsorships, because sponsorships, they come and go. They can go whenever. Like I've had sponsorships where it's like they just stop.
Well, I think part of the goal is to see yourself as somebody as big as the sponsor, right?
Yeah. Or like, bigger.
Yeah, or bigger a lot of the time.
But the truth is, when it comes to eyeballs, it is bigger.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, how they obviously get more value from this. So, so it's that problem solving, man.
It's weird. Well, I've been thinking a lot about just like BetterHelp ads, or Tom's ads in the front of you. It's like
I got reached out by BetterHelp. I'm like, I'm not gonna.
well, no, but it's like, or for NordVPN, it's like that's in front of a lot of people's videos. It's like that's on that fucking site forever, right?
Yeah.
You get paid $2,000, $3,000, even $30,000 for it. Over the course of 10 years, it's going to generate way more value. Than that, right?
Yeah.
That's why I love affiliate links too. In addition to whatever you're getting. That's always, because it's like I need to get a cut of whatever sale I'm making 3 years from now. Yeah. Like, because somebody's going to see that video. Right. Yeah, no, it's things that you have to think about, but it's like there's no crash course for creators on business.
I found that, again, it's like a lot of the, like, it's obvious and not obvious at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm testing out I made a store the past couple weeks.
Nice.
I made shirts and like.
Nice. So you have shirts right now in your store?
Yeah, sure. I have Sketchy Van
Podcast
shirts. No, this is Yes Theory.
Okay. Because I like that one too.
I love this one.
Yeah, so you can stand for it. Heck yeah.
But yeah, no, I tried it out, and like I put a free product and somebody downloaded it. Like
nice.
A free product?
Yeah.
What's a free product?
It's just a PDF on how to draw,
Oh, I love that.
Dude.
And it's like, wow, like a stranger I don't know listened to me enough, and I put it on my stories. Oh, and then he followed it and actually bought it, And I think that, like, from what I know from people who sell courses online, it's just like putting yourself in enough places to where inevitably like something happens. Yeah. It's not like that one video that you do that gets 100 million views that makes you super wealthy. It's like, for a lot of educational people on for the art side, it's like you did the best possible video you can on hands, and then arms, and then legs, and then eventually you have a giant catalog of videos. So whenever you release a video, people go back because they're trying to learn how to draw, and they'll just watch everything that you've done because you've done the comprehensive video on how to draw that thing. And if they've liked you, they'll trust you, and you've already done the video, so they're going to inevitably be convinced to buy your thing because they've spent a lot of time with you.
Yeah.
And it's like releasing most of your content for free, and then like 30 or 40% of the content is behind a paywall and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's like, I've heard of people making their stuff actually extremely easy to steal online, because if it's on enough message boards and enough, if it's just in front of enough eyeballs, it'll sell because like eventually that person who stole it gets to another person who's like, oh, I liked this guy's tutorial on arms. I'm going to go to his website and buy a tutorial on landscapes or something.
Interesting.
So it's like, it's not like it's like the more you can share your idea and the more you can share just the product you're selling in general, that's the thing.
Yeah. And being unselfish about it.
Yeah.
And not letting ego. Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. I'm curious, like, what are some of the creative ways that you've seen, like, artists, creators, just because there's, like, similar obstacles in both industries, right? Like, what other ways? Courses? Are there, like, memberships or?
Memberships, a lot of, like, there are a lot of tutorial websites that have, like, a Netflix subscription for tutorials.
Oh, okay.
So
wait, Netflix subscription?
Well, no, it's not Netflix, but it's like you have a subscription to a library of content.
Okay, got it.
So you have, like, a very large list of, like, theoretically, like, if you got Magnus and Alex Honnold and all these people to do little rock climbing videos and you sold that catalog, that would be like honestly, I don't think it's that profitable. You need a lot of eyeballs to make that work.
You need
People sell, like, little branded, like there's a skull that the guy Proco was it was just like a little reference skull that you put on your desk, and it sits on a tripod, and literally just
to draw
to draw from like,
so physical products,
pencils. There's another thing. It's somewhere around here, but there's this, like, iPad holder that, like,
cool.
You can use it, make some to draw on and stuff. And, like, generally it's just something that solves a problem. You know?
Yeah.
It's like you don't have to be the best artist to sell something. It's like if somebody, like, hates the way their, like, pencil erases, like, coming up with a new eraser. For a lot of people, like, I've heard people making, like, $50,000 or $60,000 in a year selling brush packs for Photoshop. You know.
Brush packs?
Yeah, brush packs. It's crazy.
That's digital product.
Yeah, it's not even.
Put one up right now.
Yeah. But what? You should put one up.
Yeah.
With a brush pack, and it starts making more money than.
Well, but it actually might make it like if I were to take a photo of you guys doing a silly face and then turn that into a brush pack and then do a badass piece of art with it and record it and put it on YouTube, somebody would go and buy that brush pack because it's like, oh, sick. They want a little bit of that, like, oh, I can do that, or they want to challenge themselves to try it.
Oh, okay.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like, I don't know, it's there's so many different ways of making money online. It's like,
I just gotta be creative. That's
keep in mind the margins as well.
Keep in mind the margins. Keep in mind the effort, the, like, what it takes, how much of your time. If you don't, it's just
margin was like a 3-year lesson for me to learn.
Yeah,
e-commerce.
Yeah, because I was gonna do apparel, and then I'm like, well, so
dude, I had a buddy buy one of my shirts, and it was like, oh, I'm gonna get $15 in profit for this $30 shirt. That's fine. And then it was like shipping, digitization fee. I got $10 of a $40 sale. I was like, are you kidding me?
No, that's
so that's why I'm still gonna do apparel, but it's more for branding. Yeah. It's not gonna be the money maker. Yeah, unfortunately. Or you never know. I don't know. You can't.
Well, just statistically speaking.
Yeah, I guess, like, AirPods might be, like, AirPods probably don't cost anything to make, like Apple AirPods. But they sell for like $200.
Yeah.
I heard. Like Apple AirPods, like, they're worth. I think they sell more. They're like 10 times more valuable than most other companies. Just like that section of Apple.
Just like, that section.
It's more valuable than Tesla.
That's
or
like
something. Like,
no, just
that's
AirPods.
Insane.
Yeah, I heard something like
I can see that too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's just the AirPods.
Yeah, just the AirPods. And just the margins are so good. And
honestly, the best companies in the world, right? Like Apple, Coke, whatever. Those like Fortune 500 companies forever. They figured out a way to sell a product that is like 100 multiples their margin. Yeah. Somehow. Right. That's the only way to do it. Like, you cannot sell something that's 2x, 3x. No. That's small thinking.
Right.
It's like 8x, 10x margin.
Oh yeah. Well,
for it to last.
I think a lot of people, they get into a business and they're like, I want to start a rock climbing gym, or I want to, like, build a video game from scratch or something. And like, if you're building a video game from scratch, like, oh, it sounds awesome, going to sell a lot of copies, everyone's going to play it, but then you take into account, like, if you sell on Steam, they take 30% off the top.
Or Apple.
Or Apple.
Yeah, or Apple too.
Yeah,
it's
30%.
Like, publishing fees from another company, like, and you might be left with 5 or 10% of your overall profits just because of everything else that you have to pay for, you know?
Yeah.
And
then the US comes in, and it's like, it will take 30% of that.
Yeah, I was thinking about a gym too, and I'm like, but man, I talked to gym owners.
Yeah.
I did my research, right? And I'm like, wow,
there's no way it's profitable.
There's no way it's profitable.
Yeah.
And that's so sad to me, man.
Yeah. Because
it's like
they're like hanging by a thread, it seems like.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's it's just something that we don't think about because, for me, when I grew up, I was like, oh yeah, make a bomb product, sell it for like a couple eggs, make a little money, and that's the way to go.
Yeah.
That's not the way to go. That is so wrong.
It's so hard. Well, again, I think it goes back to just trying new stuff, you know?
Yeah.
It's like learning as fast.
Well, I probably, like, if I were like purely just a fan of you guys, like the thing that I might probably buy from you is like, there are a lot of things that I had to figure out when I was learning how to climb just by like trial and error.
Yeah.
You know, like how to like just grasp a hold or something, or how to, like just like a routine for exercising on like a hangboard or something. Any of that kind of stuff. Like my shoes, they don't fit,
so I can probably start off with that and then
what
go
would
from
you
there.
buy? I'm just
I know I would probably buy a tutorial about how like just like an entry to climbing, you know?
Yeah.
And what would be the price point?
Like I would definitely buy something like that for $15 or something, $10 or $15. You know, it's like if like shoes and climbing gear is a giant investment. You know, if I pay a little bit of extra money just to make sure that I get the right one, there's probably something there. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but yeah.
We'll see what happens after this, man.
I'm serious.
Well, it's on record, so
it's on record. He said he'll help us.
I'm gonna look back and be like, Ozzy, you mentioned. No, it's
But at the same time, that could be like in the meantime. But there's something obviously that I would want. That's exciting, and I hope it happens. Seriously, man. Like it'll be so like. That's like. Oh shoot! How did that happen? You know,
dude, rock climbing is taking over the world. It seems like everyone's doing it. Like,
it's I just it's growing.
Yeah,
because you can tell by there's new gyms. Like building up and all that stuff. But you know what grew really quickly, really fast? What? Skateboarding.
Oh, he used to skateboard.
Yeah. I used to skateboard. And I remember when it was like not as big, and then all of a sudden it's like it blew up.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, you never know.
Do what Tony Hawk did, you know.
Well, that's
a game.
That's a game. And you know what's funny? I talked to my brother about it because like we talk about it because guess what? My brother worked on the first Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Yes, he was the lead.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's on all the Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
That's badass.
Yeah,
dude. That's cool.
And now he's like, imagine it's like climbing, and then that's what it.
Well, but like I look at Free Solo, and no one expected it to go as big as it
you're
did,
right.
You know?
I was just gonna say.
Oh my goodness,
I was just gonna say
true.
that was kind of our Tony Hawk moment in a sense.
Yeah,
it was.
Actually, that was our Tony Hawk moment. Yeah. But
no, it's possible. It's so. This is getting me so excited. I'm just like, let's go home and start working.
I know. But you see what I'm saying? This is how we talk, and then we start working, and then we're like just.
I don't know. I talked to a lot of friends about this, and they work for companies. They work for Riot. They make League of Legends or something, and and they giant games, and they're like, they think about what they do, and they think that they can't go and do something on their own. But then I see something like somebody who plays League of Legends is the same type of consumer that like watches a YouTube video. You know, it's just people consuming content.
Yeah, that's true.
And like nowadays, it's like celebrities aren't Tom Cruise or Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Those people, it's like PewDiePie or Mr. Beast or something. You know,
it's content creators.
Yeah.
And
they all have their niche, and
it's an exciting time. I think the biggest challenge for us too was like trying to figure out a market fit too.
Yeah.
As far as the product.
Right.
That's why it's like taken a little bit longer because. I mean, it's like we don't want to put out a product that makes no sense for our audience, just for the sake of making product. Yeah. Like for me, it makes no sense to make not so much no sense, but it's like making merch.
Yeah.
Like that. No, like that doesn't like that's like my brand would be a little bit different, and like for him, it would be like it wouldn't make sense for you to sell like women's clothing, for example, right? Because most of your audience is probably men who are wanting tutorials, but I think tutorial would probably be.
Tutorials would be. I've always thought about that because obviously my videos were tutorials. So it would make sense. It's like an easier,
Yeah.
But I was just thinking like that that could be so, because I have, what do I have? The book is the one that, if the book did good and it wasn't even a tutorial, maybe a book of a tutorial too, like a digital
PDF.
Well, I don't think people, like, it's a lot harder to get somebody to read a book
than watch a video, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm interested in is like the structure, how they have it, like like what they use, software, and all that
I
stuff.
think the biggest thing too was finding a platform to host that in, because we don't want to rely on Instagram or even YouTube or even TikTok. It's like we don't necessarily, on those platforms that we have our following, those followings are not ours. At any point it can be taken away from us, right? So we wanted to figure out a platform where it's like the audience does come in, whether that's through like an email subscription list, and you know, we have all their information, and then they come to anywhere that we go to, and then hosting that on something that doesn't cost an arm and a leg and actually is easy, right? We don't want to figure out software or coding or anything like that. That would take a long time. So it's like finding the platform too to kind of distribute the digital products.
I'll tell you guys how my friends do it off the air. Like, I'll tell you exactly how they do it, because it's way easier than you'd think.
Really?
Super easy.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
It's like copy and paste, you know, code from, like, they'll copy and paste like a store from another, from just like a generic code website, and then that's their store or something.
Oh, wow.
Or Squarespace or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Shopify or something.
Yeah. You know, it's like, you guys have the hard part figured out, which is like just having content and an audience.
Oh, having the audience is the hardest part. Yeah.
And it's like being able to be consistent on that, and that's by far the hardest part.
Right.
Another thing that I'm like need to improve on too with like my content, which is hard, is like marketing.
Yeah. Right.
Marketing is not easy as an artist.
Yeah.
You know, how do I would assume artists back in the days, they would struggle marketing themselves. How are they doing it now? I'm just curious.
Instagram is really
okay,
and artists TikTok as well. But the conversion rates for Instagram and TikTok are dog shit. They're horrible. Like,
really, some people say Instagram's good. Hold on.
I just would like to interject.
Well, so
go ahead.
So for like selling prints or something, or selling like, you know, like it's like. It's just not that good. Like,
interesting.
Like, for a print, like if somebody does really awesome like Pokemon fan art on Instagram and they get like 50,000 likes, they're not liking the artist. They're liking Pikachu. They're liking Bulbasaur or something, you know? Yeah. And whereas with YouTube, they see the person doing the piece of artwork and it's really badass. But then they're also seeing the person and they're becoming a fan of the person. Like, oh shit. Like, more of their personality is coming through. They're communicating more ideas, you know?
Okay.
And as a result, the person's getting more engaged and involved in who they are versus just this image that they made. You know?
Okay.
And it's like the Instagram is like a funnel to their YouTube, which is a funnel to their own like personal website.
Yeah.
You know?
I would like to challenge the notion that because I'll tell you straight up, TikTok's killing it for me. Really? Not SophiaChalks, my business.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's different markets, but I think it's possible still to convey.
I don't know how TikTok works.
Okay, got it.
I have no idea.
I mean, the same thing, trial and error. It took me like a couple of years to figure out TikTok, like in a business perspective. Again, not for SophiaChalks, but so I would like to see what kind of TikTok they're making and what kind of call to actions they're putting into. Yeah. Because I personally would put my bet on TikTok and Instagram as far as conversion as well. And in addition to YouTube, obviously. They should all, if you have time, put energy in all three. Right. But I think there's a lot there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely something I'm missing on TikTok. But
are you doing TikTok? Like,
a little bit.
Okay.
I'm very lazy, so.
Okay.
No, I'm actually.
From here, hold on. Okay. From here on, this is like the second, third, fourth time you say you're lazy. You are not lazy. You're working right now.
No, but
you're making content.
You should. I would encourage you to not like you know going back to the psyche. You know exactly.
If you tell yourself you're lazy, you will be lazy.
Yeah, and trust me, I say the same thing, and then I'm like, no, don't say it.
I guess I'm doing what I'm doing right now, and I'm in a rhythm of like recording the podcast and making this content. But then there's like the trying of TikTok and like formatting this in a way. It's like I have like 50 episodes that I've recorded for this thing, and it would be pretty ezy for me to go back and just like edit clips out and put it on TikTok. Yeah. But it's just like a...
Oh, I think that one turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, yeah.
So I have to... I'm surprised it lasted that long. One sec.
Sketchy Van Podcast.
True Sketchy Van fashion. It wouldn't be sketchy if it didn't turn off. Yeah. Otherwise, you would change your name to Fancy Van.
It is a fancy van at this point. But yeah, no, again, I think it's like, for me, I'm kind of in a weird spot. So I've been working for Proco for the past like 4 years, and that's been like my.
Are you still working?
I was laid off a couple weeks ago, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which it's not. It's just money issue. It's not. It's nothing to do with
you
performance.
Yeah, it's just the way like the economy's going. All this.
Yeah,
stuff. It's just like not good timing, right?
That's true.
So it's like, and it's been something I've actually wanted to do for a while, is to leave and just go do my own thing. It just, I didn't think it would happen as quickly. So I'm like, just like, what do I do now? So I'm just doing what, like, okay, I spent last year driving around the States for 6 months to New York and back recording a podcast. So I'm just like, okay, what if I'm just going to like do this the way I've been doing it and just see where it leads. You know, just see what happens.
Got it. Okay. And you're exploring TikTok?
Yeah,
you're thinking?
I will explore TikTok.
Okay, yeah. Because you're not lazy.
Like, we'll help you, like, if you have any questions with TikTok, and we'll help you. We'll be happy to help you.
I'll say
Shorts would be useful, too. I have no idea how to do shorts.
Yeah, oh, dude, yeah.
You would, pretty much what we do is convert TikTok to shorts.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Well, I make some changes depending on, some adjustments.
But since you're kind of starting, we'll figure something out. But I think... the only thing I would say is, because we also have our own podcast and we do like shorts for our podcast, I would say conversion for a podcast is a little different than than e-commerce, right? It's completely different. So there is, again, trial and error and iteration and learning what works. Right. And so that's the only little caveat. I know I said, TikTok's where it's at, but it just depends on the market as well. For podcasts, I would say we're still trying to figure out that part. For
short-term educational content for drawing, it's really good. But like, I need, so my like, again, I'm getting my foot wet in the door with being in front of a camera with this podcast, but the next step is to do art content. So
you want to do art content?
Yeah, like recording myself drawing and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god,
that's awesome.
That'd be so cool.
I would also like to like do things I'm interested in. Like if I want to try and find a way of making like rock climbing content interesting. Do some crazy challenge or like cycling content.
So where is this going to be in this same channel or different
channel.
In Sketchy Van?
Well, Christian Nee is my channel name.
Yeah.
I guess everything's just kind of fall under that.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, now you have all the time in the world. Oh my goodness!
Absolutely.
Congratulations. No, you gotta look at it that way, right? You really do. Yeah, because now you have the time and you have so much knowledge. To be honest, you probably know how to scale and monetize the channel even more than we do in a sense, because you worked with so many big channels.
Yeah, I know. I think I've helped a lot of friends do it. It's just a matter, again, like applying that knowledge to myself is the scary part.
Right. It is, because it's your face.
Yeah, 100%.
And you're not hiding behind somebody else's face.
It
is scary. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's exciting for you, man.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for you.
Seriously. And good for you. Seriously.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, do you guys want to rock climb?
Let's do it!
Okay, how should people follow you?
My name is Oswaldo Zuniga, and you can find me on Rockentry on YouTube, on Instagram, and TikTok. Rockentry.
My name's Sophia, and my handle is SophiaChalks on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.
Sweet.
Yay.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Cool. Okay, cool. Cut it there.